is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Dixie Show. Um, this one's a little earlier than average. Definitely, I try to make them at least once a month. I was gonna start doing bi-weekly or weekly shows, but this one's a little earlier than normal because we have some emergent, like it's basically an emergency podcast due to what has happened within the week. We have presidential candidate announcements. We have Dixie bills that we need to be talking about real quickly. State elections, which are in almost a little over a month, not even, right around the corner. And we also have the Blaze TV opinion poll that just came out. The results about how the president's doing, how each party's doing. We'll be talking about that as well. But first off, we need to talk about something that just recently happened in Dixie, and this is a lawsuit between Representative Cold Brew Coffee and Dixie Attorney General Deep Fried Hookers. This is definitely something that caught my eye instantly. I never even expected that this was happen. Basically, Representative Cold Brew Coffee went out of his way, and let's start with the history real quickly. An Onion article came out the other day, written by Attorney General Deep Fried Hookers, and it it was a meme. It's satire. If you guys don't know who the Onion is, they're a political comedy publisher, and with all across the nation. Um, they post comedy, satire, right? Jokes, stuff not to be taken seriously. I mean, they even mention that it's satire. Like, if you can't understand that this is complete satire, then you need to honestly grow pair, you know, grow thick skin and understand what the Onion is. Um, Cold Brew Coffee's coming out of nowheres with this lawsuit against Attorney General Deep Fried Hookers. He sued for the Onion post that was published by Deep Fried Hookers onto the Onion, which was complete satire and comedy. They were talking about basically cold brews. He went to so what happened was Cold Brew went to Colombia. Sorry, not Colombia, Cuba. He went to Cuba, which everyone knows Cuba has been an enemy of the United States for a while, ever since John F. Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. We have been trying to slowly, lift sanctions and all that and tariffs and whatnot on them. However, they're a communist state and we don't really like to negotiate with that type of stuff. But Cold Brew went across the little Gulf of Mexico, went down to Cuba, and basically said that he was running for candidacy, and the Onion made a joke out of it, and that is completely what the Onion is. They made a joke about it. That should all it be considered, and they didn't take it that way. Sad that they see it this way. So they shouldn't be seeing it this way. However, that's how they feel, and that's what it is. To be fair, this lawsuit is kind of jacked. And whatnot, it shouldn't have been taken seriously. So I'll read you the post real quickly from the Onion. They said the Dixie Department of Justice announced today a large-scale investigation to the recent travel and long-term activities of Congressional Cold Brew Cafe Nino Coffee, who is now suspected of running a large-scale international drug trafficking ring and systematic elimination of his billionaire competitors. We have perhaps some fantastic inside information, far greater information than anyone ever thought possible about Little Coffee Boy's activity, okay? Said the District Attorney General, Deep Fried Hookers. It's satire, guys. Complete satire. He couldn't take a joke, so he sued. And it's funny how the lawsuit went down. Like, they had the hearings for each side. They had a hearing for each side, and it was surprising because you know Cold Brews pulled out. He basically said, "I no longer wish to sue this individual," and you can't just do that. You're ruining someone's reputation. He commented saying that he was going to drop all charges. Well, drop the lawsuit because of what Deep Fried Hooker said. In his comment, he said that what we have here, and I quote, "What we have here is a ridiculous and quite honestly, frivolous lawsuit by an individual who has clearly never spent any amount of time of the 20 minutes necessary to understand that satire and comedy are protected speech, and libel and slander does not hold up against political humor. Right? It he's not wrong. You know what I mean? But what do you expect when you come from when you have socialists like Cold Brews and Dewey and Mika who don't care about your personal rights, they don't care about the Constitution, they don't give a rat's ass about any of your rights. Um, clearly, Senator, well, clearly Dewey, who was running for the Senate, he was trying to become senator of AC, made it clear. It's time for us to execute the billionaires to steal their wealth and redistribute it. It's like, excuse me, that's a violation of someone's rights. So they don't really care about people's rights. After Cole dropped the lawsuit on Deep Fried Hookers, Deep Fried Hookers did a reverse Uno card, guys. He reversed Uno'd that completely. I think it was a blue reverse Uno card, guys. He sued him back. He sued Cold Brews back. This lawsuit is basically on the status that, hey, he sued me and now this has damaged my reputation, because he couldn't take a joke. He doesn't understand what political satire is. Cold removed it saying, oh, well, after I found out this information, I'm going to be suing the publisher, not him, which makes no sense. It's the same freaking person. Deep Fried Hookers is now suing Cold Brew Coffees for defamation of his image, as well as his time and mental distress. He's suing for $12 million plus $1.5 million in legal fees. I don't know if Cold Brews can afford that with his upcoming race. He did announce that he is becoming, he did announce that he's going to be running for the Socialist as a presidential candidate. So, who knows? But we're going to be getting into presidential candidates. Again, we're going to be going in order from who announced first to who announced last. First up, we have Senator Guns. As you all know, Senator Guns just recently won his race. He won his race in the state of Atlantic, and he beat Senator Dewey, which was kind of funny, but he did. He beat Senator Dewey, and now he announced on Monday via letter that he will be running for the presidential nomination for the GOP, and will be running against whoever the Democrats throw at them, and now the Socialists. We do not know BNP. BNP have not confirmed if they're going to have anyone running yet, but who knows? That's still up for grabs. We have like about 2 months until presidential elections. He did announce on Monday as well that Senator Joseph Ibney from Sierra, who just won his race against the previous Senator Zarin, he announced that Senator Joseph Ibney will be his vice president. Now, this is definitely not. I saw this coming. Definitely saw this coming, and I will be endorsing this ticket, just based on the fact that one of my closest friends, Senator Joseph Ibney, is on this ticket. But not congratulations, but congratulations on actually winning your guys' Senate seats, and then now taking the step towards something greater, which is becoming the president of the United States, possibly. Following that, we had you can call this a political humor joke. We had Sierra Assemblyman Eddie B. He posted an article. Well, he posted an announcement. It was a complete meme, complete satire, complete joke that he'll be a possible candidate for the Democratic Party, talking about beans. So yeah, he that was a joke, but that did come up. Then we had Representative Cold Brews Coffee. He spoke in Cuba, which makes no sense. Why the hell would you go to Cuba if you're running for presidency of the United States? Why would you're going for the Oval Office in a completely different country? Why go to Cuba and announce it to them? No one cares in Cuba. He stated how he commended the Cuban people. What is there to commend about the Cuban people? They're communists. I personally will not be supporting Cold Brews just because of his statements. Like, you want us to go from being a wealthy, booming economy, a wealthy, powerful nation, to a nation that's locked in time. That is literally what Cuba is right now. They are locked in time. They're still driving cars from the 70s and 80s. Okay, it's a nightmare down there. They're poor. They have communist rule. They're throwing people in prison who they don't like, who the government doesn't agree with. Like, no, I don't want that in my country. I'm sorry. And I know for a fact Dixie will not stand for that. I know Dixie. I'm surprised Dixie likes socialist people, but they please they please they please a group of individuals in Dixie, and hopefully we can throw them out of Dixie. He also spoke about Dewey. He brought up a saying that Dewey made, jailing the billionaires. So you're not only saying that you want us to be like Cuba, but you also state that you want to violate successful American lives on the basis of them being successful and being billionaires. I don't understand what your problem is here. Uh, I don't understand what your problem is here. I don't understand what the socialist deal is. But this mentality of jailing people because they're successful compared to you and they actually make money is not right. This is not how capitalism works. This is not how America works. This is not how the Constitution works. Okay, so all you socialists out there in the Socialist Party, please get this out of your head. All right, you cannot just jail someone because they actually make money and they've been successful in their life and they've started making more money than you. Because if we want to do that, why don't we jail you, Senator? Why don't we jail you, Representative Goldbruce? Why don't we jail you, Dewey? Why don't we jail the governor of the Atlantic state, Miko? Why don't we jail her? Why don't we jail the lieutenant governor, Samantha? Why don't we jail them? They're all making a lot of money now. You're not sharing. I'm not. I'm not getting a paycheck from you. So you know what? Why don't you go to jail and we take all your money now? Oh, I know you won't like that. So because it doesn't help you guys out, you won't support that idea. Oh, I got it. Okay. Next up, we had Senator DDYT from the state of Lincoln. He talked about he talked about how he wants to run for presidency. However, I don't feel like he's a good candidate. I love DDYT. He's a great person, and I've met him in person. He's a great person to talk to. I worked with him. I don't feel like he's. I don't know, man. He only people of Lincoln know him. Really, not the whole country, except for his accent and everything. However, he had a poor Lincoln campaign, and I don't feel like with the way that he campaigned in Lincoln, I just don't think he has the energy and time, and I don't feel like he has the grind to really become president when it comes to campaigning. I mean, and he doesn't really have that much activity in the Senate in the first place. So I don't feel like he's a great pick. And then we had another joke pop up from the Sierra governor, 0/0. Don't agree with him. I can't tell if it's actually a joke or not. It's definitely satire with the way that his internal poll is. However, this might actually be a hint to him running. But who knows? He did make a post though earlier this week saying how he imprisoned whites and Republicans. 'Cause that's definitely who I want in as president. Someone who's going to be jailing people of the opposite political party of him, as well as a whole individual group of, a whole race because of their race. That's like jailing black people because they're black. That's like jailing, Japanese people during World War II because they're Japanese. Like, I don't agree with what happened during World War II with the Japanese, and I don't agree with targeting an individual race because of their race, nor an individual, nor a political group, right? Or individual based on their political affiliation. So who knows what that was all about, but hopefully it's only a joke and satire. There's a lot going on in Dixie now, guys, so we're going to be flipping over to that. We do have state elections coming up. We'll be talking about that, but we're also going to be talking about some bills that are out right now. We're going to be talking about a few of mine, and then we'll talk about one that was made by. We'll talk about two that were submitted by the Democratic Party. First up, we have Bill 254, the Correctional Work Release Act. I wrote this bill. I authored it with the help of one of my colleagues. I want prison reform and criminal justice reforms. And I feel like right now we have no program in place to help these individuals when they get out of prison. When they get out of prison going into the workforce, right? Most of the time they'll either end up back in jail because they get stuck back right into the system, or they go homeless. So I authored the Correctional Work Release Act, which it will be kind of like a work release program for counties as well, not just state prisons. Basically, you serve, if you're in county, you serve 45% of your time, and then if you're in state, you serve 50%. I believe that you should still serve your time. You know what I mean? You did the crime, you do the time. You know what I mean? However, I do like the idea of giving them like a break. Like, hey, this isn't that bad of a crime, or you've been really good in prison. We're gonna give you the opportunity to go on the work release program. They get about 8 weeks to do to go out and find a job. If they can't get a job within 8 weeks, they get sent back to prison. They just serve the rest of their time, or they can try again later on. However, there is a board that reviews them, established by the sheriff of the county or by the attorney general of the state. And with that, these individuals can actually go out and get a job and do work release program and be out of prison while technically still serving their time. However, they just have to check up with the prison and everything, or their county jail here and there. They get to live with their family. I mean, they get to take care of their family as well. This not only lets them go and find a job, it also helps them if there's a family member in need. They can go and help their family member while still working. So I agree with that. You know what I mean? I don't want to see these people, these individuals who act, who made a mistake. We're human. We all make mistakes. I don't want to see them go out of their way and become homeless because they did a mistake in their life. I believe in second chances. God gave us all a second chance when He flooded the earth and showed us a rainbow and saying that He never flood the earth again. So I believe in second chances. I believe this Correctional Work Release Act can give those people second chances. Mind you, those who have been in prison before will not get work release. You did your time, you did the crime, you did the time, but then you turn around and did another crime. So we don't trust you to go on work release. Another bill I authored was B252, which is the Dixie Voter Holiday Act. There's another one during this voting period. That's exactly the same. It's an amendment. It's an amendment made by a Democrat who's no longer in the Democrat, like the Assembly. He's in the House now. It's called the Electoral Holiday Amendment. I feel like my bill is superior just because of this. This is the reason why. So I'm gonna explain both. So basically, the Electoral Holiday Amendment would basically make every election a holiday and mandatory off. I don't agree with that. All right. So when I authored the Dixie Voter Holiday Act, I understood that people need to make money. We can't be making these things mandatory holidays for those who actually need to get out and work. There's people that work by the hours and can only work during weekdays because they have to take care of their children on weekends or whatnot. So they have to work in order to feed their family, pay the bills and everything. If we keep making mandatory holidays, guess what? They can no longer afford. They have to take off the day because they're not allowed to work. And now basically we're in this pickle of these people not being able to get paid because we decide, oh, you're gonna take the day off because other people want to go and vote. Some people don't want to vote. Some people do, but they still want to work. And businesses need to stay open too because they need to make profits in order to pay their employees. So the whole idea is, my amendment or my act would give a 2 hour to 3 hour leeway for these individuals to go out and vote. So if you're working an 8 hour day, you can take 2 hours off to go out and vote. And mind you, this is not mandatory 2 hours. You can, if you literally only need 30 minutes to go out, right, and vote, you go out and vote, and then you can come back, right? So it's not mandatory 2 hours. It's however long you need within those 2 hours. And then you can get back. So if you're working an 8 hour shift, you get 2 hours off, right, to go out and vote, right? And you're losing 2 hours of work, so you're still getting those 6 hours of pay though, which is good. So I think mine is superior. The Socialist Assemblyman Banana Republic said that, oh, the Electoral Holiday Amendment is more superior because it gives them the whole day off. Yes, but my bill keeps in mind of businesses and people that actually need to make money. Senator Prelate specifically said, right, that specifically made it clear that he does not support any bill or any making mandatory holidays. right? Because of this reason, because we have individuals in the state that need to work in order to pay for their family, pay for bills and feed their family. And so I feel like this bill is more superior because of that reason. My bill is more superior because of this reason. We also have B251, which is another one I authored. It's the Sunny-Dixie Act. And basically, this would create for a 5 megavolt, 5 kilovolt solar panel system. If you install one onto your house, you can get a rebate for 10% of what it costs you. So mind you, every single province in the state of Dixie has different prices. I understood that, so I took the average and budgeted that way. My bill specifically states, where the money has to go, which is nice. And I also think this is a great way to further us towards a greener path. People with individual power. This power can also resupply the grid, right, and send power back to these companies, and then they can also save money by, spending less on fossil fuels or coal in order to produce power, which is great too because then it cuts down on carbon emissions. I feel like this is overall a better way for us as a state to go into a greener path. Mind you, this is only for this bill will be renewed every year, so every year on top of the budget we will have this contribute to it, right? However, if the assembly or one of the secretaries, right, the Secretary of Finance, if they want to cut this bill, they can. The assembly needs to vote on, or the secretary has to do it. That's part of the bill, though. But it is mandatory for 1 year, so I'm hoping this does pass. Another one I proposed was B273, which is the Dixie Seal Act. And I don't know if you guys have all seen the Dixie Seal right now that we have. It is atrocious. It is disgusting. The eagle has no legs. Like, you don't see legs on the eagle. Mine, however, has the fleur-de-lis with the provisional seal of Texas incorporated into it. Because I really do like the idea of having the oak leaves and the oak branches, because the oak tree is primarily it is abundant in Dixie, and also the olive leaves. The olive leaves symbolizing peace and all that. So that's one of the reasons why. I would show it up on screen, but I do not have it right now. As I forgot to make a copy for the today's podcast. However, if you go on to the Dixie the Dixie website and look up the bill, you can see the seals that are proposed inside it via hyperlink that they have on the website. Another bill that was just recently proposed is B225. That is the Juvenile Training Act. The Juvenile Tanning Act. My handwriting is atrocious right now. The Juvenile Tanning Act, it's an act that basically prohibits people under the age of 18 from tanning in tanning beds, which, to be fair, I don't like the idea of restricting parental rights. And I think Senator Dexter Amo really made this clear. Like, we should be letting the parents decide this. But however, dude, parents sometimes can be dumb. And not all parents. I'm just saying some. Like, we have individual parents that let their kids play GTA 5, or these, at age 5. At age 5 years old, they're letting their 5-year-old play GTA 5. So we do have some bad parents out there. However, I do think with how tanning beds are right now, they produce skin cancer at an alarming rate compared to if you're tanning out in the sun. So I agree. I agree that we should be letting parents dictate this. However, I think as a state, we still are obligated to to provide for these kids' health. Even when the parents are doing as well. So I think we should make it illegal. I don't think 18, maybe 16 would be better, but that's what the bill states. I do support it though, so I think it's a good first step. If we need to later on, if the people want it, we can always amend it to say 16 or 17. So we can always lower it later on in the future. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about state elections and my predictions. They are within 1 month. They're in 1 month, and I do have an announcement to make with this. I am officially running for re-election as assemblyman in the state of Dixie, and I really hope my fellow colleague Make also runs with me. I do not know. I will update you guys later on, but I do not know at this time which other GOP Dixians are going to be running for assembly. Hopefully a lot more, though, than we had last time. And hopefully we can win back the state of Dixie. However, I have some predictions. Seeing that the GOP and socialists have been the most active within the state of Dixie, I am predicting a majority GOP assembly. I am predicting that right now. I'm predicting a majority GOP assembly with the socialists gaining 2 seats. I believe the GOP will gain 3 seats, making it so that we have 5 GOP in the assembly. I believe the socialist will gain either 1 or 2 seats in the assembly. Who knows? Maybe we might only win 1 seat or 2 seats in the assembly for GOP. But I see the GOP winning 2 to 3 seats in the assembly. I see the socialists either gaining 1 or 2 seats in the assembly, and I see the BMP holding on to their 1 assemblyman seat in the state of Dixie. I do predict that the Democrats will be thrown out of the Dixie Assembly. Reason why is because they've been a sleepy party inside Dixie, guys. They've been sleeping throughout the whole assembly. They were active right there and then before federal elections, trying to get some reputation up for the elections on the federal level. But man, have their assemblymen been sleepy. Like these new guys that came in for the Democrats, I don't see them really lasting that long. I feel like this is going to be their 1 term, and that is it. They're going to be gone after this election. The reason why is because me and Assemblyman Make have been pumping out bills. I mean, we've been pleasing the people very, very well, and so have the socialists. I'll admit, the socialists are doing the same, and I feel like that's something that's going to show during these elections. I mean, the elections are going to show which party is the one that is pleasing the people awfully well. I do think the BMP are going to pull out too. I think the BMP will hold on to their 1 position. I really hope Swag does. I would love to see Swag win it. Who knows though? They might gain a seat. I mean, they might gain a seat. I mean, if they coalition, if they coalition with someone with either the Democrats, maybe they might coalition with the Democrats again and the socialists, and they actually might all keep a seat. I mean, Dems and BMP might keep a seat, or BMP wins a seat. The socialists, I definitely do think the socialists will gain though, just based on their activity and how they've been pleasing the people of Dixie. So that's why I'm predicting. I'm predicting definitely a socialist gain. I do see a majority GOP, whether that be 4 seats or 5. And who knows? Hopefully we can see that. Remember, because if we win 4 seats, we still have the majority, because there's only 7 seats in the assembly. So if we win those 4 seats, man, will that be good for Dixie, because we can actually start getting GOP. We can actually start pushing out Republican-sponsored bills and whatnot. We can get rid of these. We can get rid of these red flag laws once and for all, people. We can actually start making this state more Second Amendment. We can get rid of this nasty act called the Dixie Red Flag Act, which violates your rights to due process. So hopefully we can get that. So who knows? But remember, guys, 1 month away. Make sure you guys get out and vote. Hopefully Dixie Voter ID Act will be passed, which means you might need to get your licenses or go out and get a voter ID. Some sort of identification. So keep an eye out, because that might be happening within a couple days if this passes. So definitely watch out for that. So anyways, guys, my name is Assemblyman Jarl Frosty. Assemblyman Chris Frost, however you want to call it. I have 2 different names that you can call me by. My nickname is Jarl Frosty, but my real name is Chris Frost, so either one. I am your host of The Dixie Show. Make sure you check out the Blaze TV, as well as... Oh, wait, hold on. Can't be finishing off just yet. I just remembered something, people. The Blaze TV opinion poll. Let's get over that real quickly. So, we had 61 people fill out this poll, this opinion poll. Out of that, we had 47% Republican. We had 9.4% Democratic, 18.9% Bull Moose Party, 15.1% socialist, 0% libertarian, Sleepy Party. We also had 9.4% independent. This poll was conducted over random politicians across the nation. So we're going to be going over each opinion poll now. Remember, I said out of the 60, this is definitely a heavy Republican poll. Okay, so this is definitely going to affect this, polls a little bit. But do you approve or disapprove of the way presidential guilty air is handling their job? 58% said disapproved, 26 said approved, and then the rest said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Vice President Hurricane is handling their job? 39% of you said disapproved, 35% of you said approved, and 24% said do not know. Now, I think this is definitely good for Hurricane when it comes to this election coming up. He does have support from both sides. There are some Republicans clearly that do support him. That might be good. That might affect the way that the polls come out. But guilty air should this shouldn't be a surprise, to be fair. Guilty air has been sitting there acting like a child in Dixie and other states and in the House of Representatives. So, I'm not surprised by that. Plus, it is GOP heavy. And we do not like, guilty air. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Senate Majority Leader is handling their job? 37.7% of you said approved, 34% of you said disapproved, 28.3% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Senate is handling their jobs? 43.4% said approved, 34% said disapproved, 22.6% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Speaker of the House is handling their job? 39.6% of you said disapproved, 30.2% said approved, and 30.2% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the House is handling their jobs? 34% approved, 34% said disapproved, 32.1% said do not know. That's tied. Wow. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Atlantic Governor Mika is handling their job? 47.2% said disapproved, 32.1% said approved, and 20.8% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove the way Chesapeake Governor Brand of Raisins is handling their job? 43.4% said approved, 34% said disapproved, 22.6% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove the way of the Dixie Governor Black and Eyed, oh boy, is handling their job? 43.4% said disapproved, 30.2% said approved, 26.4% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Lincoln Governor Levin Silva is handling their job? 43.4% said disapproved, 37.7% said do not know, and 18.9% said approved. Do not know. Wow, man, that's a lot of people that do not know about him. Remember, this is across the nation. He is new, so I will give him that. But man, that's something. Mind you, this one was before the controversy with 0/0, so this might have changed. But do you approve or disapprove of the way Sierra Governors 0/0 is handling their job? 41.5% said do not know, 30.2% said disapprove, and 28.3% said approve. Do you approve or disapprove of the Republican Party? 58.5% said approved, 39.6% say disapprove, 1.9% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the Democratic Party? 62.3% said disapprove, 30.2% said approve, and 7.5% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the Bull Moose Party? 56.6% said disapprove, 39.6% say approve, 3.8% say do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the Socialist Party? 64.2% say disapprove, 32.1% say approve, 3.8% say do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the Sleepy Libertarian Party? 56.6% say disapprove, 26.4% say approve, and 17% say do not know. We asked the Republican members that filled out this opinion poll a series of questions about their party, and here's how they answered. Do you approve or disapprove of the party chairman handling the job? 92% said approve, 4% said disapprove, 4% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the vice chairman is handling their job? 88 said approved, 12% say do not approve, and 0% say do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the chief whip of the party is handling the job? 80% said approve, 12% said disapprove, 8% said do not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the RNC is handling the job? This one is surprising and a shocker to me, but 64% said approve. That's a yikes right there, guys. 16% said disapprove, but 20% do not know. It's kind of fair. The RNC is pretty, not a lot of stuff goes on in the RNC except for voting. So, do you approve or disapprove of the Republican Party as a whole? 96% said approved, 0% said disapproved, and 4% said do not know. We asked the Democratic Party members who filled out this opinion poll a series of questions, and here's how they answered. Same thing. Do you approve or disapprove of the party chairman? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the party deputy chairman is handling the job? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the DNC are handling their jobs? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the party as a whole? 100% said approved. We asked the Bull Moose members that filled out this opinion poll a series of questions, and here's how they answered. Do you approve or disapprove of the party chairman handling their job? 80% said approved, 10% said disapproved, 10% said they did not know. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the party vice chairman is handling the job? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the party council are handling their jobs? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the BMNC handling their job? 90% said approved, 10% said do not know, 0% disapproved. Do you approve or disapprove of the Bull Moose Party as a whole? 90% said approved, 0% disapproved, do not know, 10%. We asked socialist parties of this opinion poll, the members of the socialist party of this opinion poll, what they think of their party. A couple questions like that. Here's how they answered. Do you approve of the party chief secretary? Do you approve or disapprove of the way that the party chairman or party chief secretary is proving their job? 10% said approve, 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the party secretaries are handling the jobs? 100% said approved. Do you approve or disapprove of the Socialist Party as a whole? 100% said approved. Mind you, no libertarians filled out this opinion poll. They just refused to. So we do not have the answers for that. Basically, it's just NA for all of them. But that includes this month's opinion poll. The next one will be around September, somewhere in September, more towards the end of it. And yeah, so I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of the Dixie Show. My name is Assemblyman Chris Frost. I am your host here and CEO of The Blaze. Make sure you check out The Blaze on our subreddit as at the ModelUSTheBlaze, and also make sure you check out my Twitter at ChrisFrostGOP. That is Chris Frost GOP on Twitter. Anyways, guys, God bless. God bless you all. God bless the state of Dixie. God bless these United States. I will see you all next time, and I will see you guys during the state elections. Thank you all.